She says some of you really need to think about whether or not the CA part is for you. And she clocks me one more time and she moves back down. I died inside. Hi everyone, it's Ndao. Welcome back to another video. I've been gone for some time. I created this channel and I ran away. But I'm going to try and be consistent now. I've been busy with other passion projects and I'm going to be intentional about making time for YouTube. So let's start. When I created this channel, I didn't really introduce myself. So I wanted to do a get to know me tag, but not the traditional question and answer type of thing. I wanted to tell you guys how I became a chartered accountant. I didn't do accounting as a subject in high school. I didn't plan on doing it, doing accounting when I started university. So how the hell did I end up here? I think giving you insight into this journey will be hopefully insightful. It is quite unconventional. So I think it's a lot better than me telling you what my favorite color is. So the first time I actually had to think about what I wanted to do when I grew up was in grade 10, selecting subjects in high school. At the time, I thought I wanted to either be a screenplay writer, so a very, very creative career, but on the other side, I wanted to do something very analytical, becoming a mathematician, doing stats, quants, that type of thing. I was very undecided, like a lot of other people during that time. So what made it particularly hard for myself is that I didn't suck at anything. I was a straight A student. Call it a combination of genetics and the complete fear of failure. So these two traits resulted in me becoming very competitive, but at the same time, I would completely avoid anything that I thought I would remotely fail in. Enter accounting. I decided not to do accounting in high school, not from my very limited experience with the subject, but it was very influenced from external factors. My cousin, my sister, and my best friend at the time were all pursuing the CA career. And from the things that they would tell me, I was so scared that I wouldn't do well in this field. I knew at the back of my mind there were those two, aspects of myself that I really wanted to pursue because I was passionate about it and I didn't have to worry about accounting. Fortunately, for, my creative and analytical side, all I needed to study was mathematics and English. And that made my life a lot easier because both of those subjects were compulsory. So avoided accounting and life just went on. Fast forward to January 2012, matric results come out. I get 5 distinctions. Everybody's happy. Everything is great. But what wasn't great is that I didn't have funding. I had applied to countless bursaries throughout my matric year. None of them landed, and my mother couldn't cash flow my education. I had only applied to 2 universities. I applied to WITS and I applied to UCT. WITS got back to me, I would say almost like the day results came out. It was close to home because I'm from Joburg, and they had offered me financial aid. I don't remember the exact package, but I remember thinking that this is going to solve a lot of my problems. I told my mom, WITS had accepted me, and she thought that was it. That's the end of the conversation. But Matauzen did not want to go to WITS. I had worked so hard to get into UCT. That is what I wanted, and that is what I deserved. So despite everyone around me telling me that this is the logical decision to make, I started packing my bags for Cape Town. I had no acceptance letter, no confirmation. The status on the website, I think that's how it worked last time, back then, is that, I was provisionally accepted, and then, afterwards, it would change the status. All my friends that, that I knew that got accepted, their status had changed. Matauzen is waiting and packing at the same time. I got the acceptance I want to say a week. And that was it. The financial aid package, I also got partial funding. It wasn't as good as what Wits was offering, but I did not care. Matauzen, I had, guys, like, unwavering faith. I just knew it was going to work. I don't know how. I mean, like I told you, my financial situation was not looking good, but and that is I would say that's a trait that I carry with me right now or today. I told you guys I quit my job. Guys. So I got accepted a week before I left. A few days before I left, they sent me acceptance for res. And that was the last piece of the puzzle. In my mind, I was sorted. I had a roof over my head. I had a course I knew I wanted to do. And I had partial funding that would cover registration, which means my foot was in the door. Nothing else mattered. When I got to uni, I registered for a Bachelor of Business Science in Quantitative Finance. So I ultimately decided to go that route in pursuit of a sort of like a mathematical statistics type of career path. I don't know if it's like this in other universities, but at UCT in first year, regardless of the commerce degree you're doing, you all have to do the same subject. I had mathematics as a major, and it was a prerequisite for a lot of the things that I wanted to do in my second year. So that was all I cared about. I think I also did a stats course. That was my priority. Cue in my first interaction, or first accounting lecture. So we're in the lecture hall, and I'm not going to say the lecturer's name, but she's in the front, and she congratulates everyone for doing so well in the previous year for their matric results. And she said two statements, but I don't know if she said it on the same day. The first one was that like 80% of the people in here got 80% for accounting, something like that. And the other one was that the average sort of number of distinctions per capita was 5 for everyone sitting in that room. In that instant moment, I was like, this is the first time I have ever been average. And someone is telling it to my face. I am not a superstar. There are people in here that are a lot smarter than me, that have worked probably a lot harder than me, that are more genetically inclined and gifted than I am. And I had to have a very serious and real conversation with myself. I think I walked into uni with that same mentality of I need to be a superstar, and I need to be the best, and I need to be the greatest. And the only person I had to be better than was myself. Like the person that I was last year, last week, yesterday, this morning type of thing. And that should be enough. That's really been something that I've taken with me in my career as well. Applies today, applied 10 years ago when I started university, which is insane. But yeah, that was the only thing that matters. Like, I am my own competition. Okay, second semester, first year, still doing quants, but I knew at this point that I'm not going to carry on with this next year.
Hi, Future Down here. I forgot to talk about why I wanted to change my major at the end of first semester. I just realized that an interest in a certain topic doesn't always result in an interesting career. I think I was a bit ill-informed, misinformed about what a degree in quants would give me. A lot of people who follow that route end up being actuaries, and I didn't want to do that. So I realized that a BCom in economics and statistics was more in line with what I wanted to do. That later became an option. But yeah, it just wasn't something I wanted to carry on with.
So second semester comes along, I pass all my subjects, and like I mentioned previously, accounting was not very high up on the list in terms of my priorities. I had the choice of doing business accounting, which is, I don't know what it is actually. It's like a diluted version of the CA accounting. My apologies to anyone who did that, but I don't know what the difference is because I didn't do it. So like I said, there was business accounting, there was financial reporting. Financial reporting is what the CAs have to do. The people on the CA stream have to do this level of accounting in order to sort of move forward with your life. Shut. I didn't have to do that. I didn't have to do it, but because I was being extra. I just wanted to do the most. For what? I don't know. Just trying to make my life harder. I decided to do financial reporting. First day back, same lecturer as first semester. Class has gotten a lot smaller because, again, there is that split that I mentioned earlier. And yeah, the class is a lot more intimate this time. Lecturer asks a question. She points at my 1,000 and she walks towards me with her mic. Guys, that was literally the most terrifying day of my life. I have anxiety. I'm an anxious person. I've always been an anxious person. When I was a kid driving with my mom on a bridge, I would ask her, what if there's no road on the other side? Like the side of the bridge you don't see. Anxiety is literally part of who I am, and I've just accepted it, and that's just how life is. So in that moment she asked me the question, I know exactly what she's asking, and I know what the answer is, but I freeze. I don't know. Ma'am, I don't got the answers. I don't know what to say to you. Stop looking at me. And everyone is looking at me. So she asked someone else. Without missing a beat, they answer the question. She looks around the room and she says, some of you need to think about what you really want to do with your life. She says, some of you really need to think about whether or not the CA part is for you. And she clocks me one more time and she moves back down. I died inside. And I was so sure that after I left that lecture, I was going to deregister. I didn't have to do this. I did this because I was trying to do the most. Because that's what I do. I'm just trying to be everything and do everything. So I didn't need this. And part of me was like, I didn't really care about this subject earlier on in the semester anyway, the first semester. I don't need this. I'm going to be fine. I went to the faculty office and I sat in the line. And while I was sitting there waiting, and I'm so glad there was a line, I just asked myself, it's like, now have you failed at anything ever? And the answer is no. And the answer is no to date. Like I mentioned earlier, I avoided accounting because of what, other people said about it and not based on my own experience. And I was letting this lecturer do the same all these years later, letting someone else, an external factor, influence what you'd end up doing with your life. Sure, I don't need to do that accounting. But like, what if, I'm in stats and someone says that to me, and I'm in maths, and am I going to change subjects just because other people say so? So I decided that I was going to walk back to res. Went back to res, and life carried on, and I decided that I was going to add accounting to the list of my priorities because I needed to prove to myself that I could do this, even though I didn't need to. Fast forward to second semester, the second half of second semester. What? Like the fourth term, guys. You know what I'm trying to say. That time, I again had decided that I knew I was going to change majors, but because commerce is the same, there was no need at this point. But then, right then, I needed to figure out like what exactly I was going to do next year because, we were heading towards that. What was very important to me at this time is to make sure that I have my options open. And fortunately, in commerce, it's very easy to switch from one thing to something else, depending on what it is, without really ruining your timeline. I could have done summer school, winter school to make up for credits that I might have missed before. So it wasn't a big deal. Priority right now was to choose something that would give me the most flexibility and the most options going forward. I knew that I didn't know what I wanted to do with my life, and I felt that it was okay because to ask that of a 19-year-old is so much pressure. So I wanted to keep my options open, and the one course that would allow me to do that until I figure out what it is that I wanted to do was a Bachelor of Business Science in Finance and Accounting. One, because my top choice at the time, what I really thought I was going to do next year was economics and finance, but I wasn't, too sure what that would look like. So I knew that I'd have finance as a major. Economics, you do the whole of your second year as well. So if I decided to switch 2 years halfway through my second year, I would still be fine if I did winter and summer school for the random subjects I would miss. I'm in my second year doing all these accounting and economics courses, and it's not so bad. That was my first, I think I did tax for the first time that semester, and I was like, this is amazing. This subject is everything. And I just never went back. And if I would do it all over again, I would do the exact same thing. So yeah, guys, I stuck with it. I didn't change afterwards. And here we are, all these years later. I'm a chartered accountant, and it's amazing. And it's so crazy that, like, there was literally one turning point that I decided to deregister accounting. God knows where I would have been. But I'm just really grateful for the journey, and everything that's happened for a reason. And I'm still really excited about like where my career is going. I still don't have it all figured out. All I know is that I'm in this moment. I'm enjoying what I'm doing. I'm going to stick with it, and I'm going to continue to develop myself. The thing I do want to mention though is I didn't talk a lot about like the financial journey and how difficult that was, but at the end of my when I graduated twice for my undergrad and postgrad. My undergrad, my mom couldn't make the graduation for financial reasons, so we knew the postgrad was coming up and we would go to that. But I had a massive outstanding balance at the end of my postgrad, to the point where they wouldn't let me graduate. I think a lot of universities do that. So I had accepted. My firm was okay to take me on with the loan. I was going to pay it off as I worked. But FNB came to the rescue. Okay, guys, background. I got this email. I was in a taxi in February 2017. Graduation was in May. I got this on the 6th of February, and it said, please to convey that you've been awarded a bursary for the First Rand from the First Rand Foundation, respective your outstanding fees at UCT. Guys, I will forever be indebted to the First Rand Foundation, because not only did they give me an opportunity to enter my career without an immense amount of debt, but my mother was able to see me graduate, and that was amazing. So this is unsponsored, but very, very appreciative, very, very grateful to this foundation. And yeah, okay, that's everything. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, give me a like, a thumbs up, subscribe, and if you haven't seen my previous videos, go ahead and watch those. I will upload another video next week. Well, not this time, just this time. Come back next week. There will be something else. Bye.